All right, I think that we are live. Woohoo!
Live on the
Hello, everybody. This is Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches, and I have a special guest with me today,
hello.
Becca.
Long time no see.
So I wanted to say thank you to Becca for coming on and sewing with me. This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love
Yeah.
it whenever somebody else has a project and they're going to teach me how to do it because I just bring my stuff and I sit like this.
You're so funny. Oh.
Stephanie, teach me.
Okay, I will teach you. Are you ready with
Okay.
your fabrics?
Well, if you mean by ready, have I pulled them and I'm pressing them and they're not cut? Yes, then I'm ready. If you mean, are they cut? No.
That's okay. That's okay. I want to say hi to everybody coming in. Hi, Joyce and Shelly and Terry and Delmarie and Susan and Mary. All kinds of names. Jan Meyer, Pat Strawhouse, Nancy Gus, Laura Miller. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of you, so I'm so sorry. But welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm glad to be back with you guys. I still have just a little bit of congestion going on, so every once in a while, I might have to clear my throat. I'm sorry. I know it's kind of gross, but that's what's kind of left of my little cold thingy. Um, but I'm just glad I can be here because I was out of town, so I had to cancel one Saturday stuff, and then I was really, really sick last week, so there was no way I could come on. So I'm just glad to be back.
Glad you're back
Hi,
too.
Sean. Hi, Dee. Hi, Bettina. Hi, Dealinda. Hi, Sharon and Kathleen and Susan. Just making try to catch everybody. I know I'm missing some people. So if you have any questions along the way for Becca or I, make sure you do at Stephanie Stitches or at So Becca so we can catch your questions. The chat moves rather quickly and it can be hard to see, but if you do at, it highlights our name on our side. So like right now somebody said hi at Stephanie Stitches and I can see it in bright orange, so it alerts me that somebody's talking to me. So same thing with Becca. So if you guys have any questions along the way, if you could do that to help us out, that would be great. I think that's kind of all the housekeeping stuff I have. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
I'm eating mashed potatoes and they're delicious.
That sounds amazing. Where's mine?
In the bowl, in the microwave. I'll go heat them up.
So, we our retreat is coming up in April, and I just wanted to address this really quickly because I've had a lot of people ask a lot of questions. We are super excited about it. It's Becca and Yvette and I, and the retreat is here in Ohio in Amish country. There are no more spots. Please don't ask. I'd love to have you if I could, but I can't. And I've already got a waiting list of like 10 people. So there are definitely no more spots. But good news is I'm going to try to do a second retreat in Lancaster, Pennsylvania in the fall. And everybody that's on the waiting list, I will send you an email first. So if you would like to get on that waiting list to get the announcement first about the retreat, please send me an email, stephanies.stitches@yahoo.com. That's the only way that you'll get first grabs at it. I don't know how else to do it to make it fair. I do have quite the waiting list, like I said, and I don't anticipate having any spots open for April. So if you are interested, we would love to meet you and love to have you in the fall. So send me an email. So today we're going to be working on these cute little Valentine coasters. And I'm going to show or tell Becca what size to cut her fabric now. You ready?
If you mean by ready, I'm ready to hear you, and then I'll ask you again. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So for your center heart pieces, you're going to cut two 2-inch by 3.5-inch rectangles. So do that first.
2" by 3.5".
Yes, ma'am.
2 of them.
2 of them.
You know, it would be great if I could find my ruler. Ah!
That would be amazing. That'd be very helpful.
All right, I'm cutting. Here we go. 2" by 3.5".
So Kathleen said she really enjoyed my Valentine box. It arrived yesterday. Will I be doing a sew along? No, I won't be doing a sew along this time around. I've already made it because the pattern is my pattern, so I made it to try it. And I've got a couple other things going on. My spring mystery quilt sew along is starting up soon. I've got the Fort Worth Fabric Studio sew along. So I've got quite a few things going on. So I'm not going to sew this one, but I think somebody else here might be sewing it on her channel.
Yeah, so Stephanie, I asked Stephanie if she was going to sew the box on her channel, and all I was going to do is just an unboxing to kind of show it off and push people to take a look at her box next time she has one out. But she said she wasn't doing a sew along, and I know people like to have those, and that's kind of the thing that I've been doing this year is focusing on turning boxes into finished projects and not works in progress or UFOs. And so I've decided I'm going to sew that on my channel. I think I've got it scheduled for February 11th. So it's right before Valentine's Day, and the project looks super cute. So we should be able to get it done in an evening. And Stephanie has taken the pattern that's in the box and she's made it available on her website. So if you want to do it and you didn't get a box, you can buy her pattern from her website, from her Etsy shop, and you can get your own fabric and meet us on my channel Friday, February 11th at 8 p.m. And Stephanie may or may not be there depending on what she has going on. So It'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. So there's your answer. Becca's going to sew it on the 11th. And she's right. The pattern is not, you're not going to get the paper pattern like the people who got the box did, but you can get a PDF version of it from my shop, and it's an instant download. So you'll have it and you'll be ready.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yay. Okay. Did you cut your centerpieces?
I did.
Yay. So the next thing you need to cut, and these are all from the same fabric, is 4 1 1/4 inch squares.
Okay. I can do that like right now. You want to see how fast I can cut them?
Yes.
This fast. Time me. Here we go. 1,
No.
2. I'm done.
You cut 4?
I cut 4.
Awesome. Now cut 2 2-inch squares.
Okay.
Out of the same fabric.
Let's see if we can go fast too. 2 2-inch squares. I can do this super fast. You ready? Time me. Here we go.
Fast. You sound like Luke. Super fast.
Super fast. Do you like cutting fast? Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Okay.
Okay, now you need 2 1.5 by 3.5 inch rectangles.
2 1.5 by 3.5 inch.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what I heard? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Why? My. What lovely manners you have. 1.5 by 3.5 inch. Okay. Yep, got that. Next.
Okay, 2 1.5 by 5.5 inch rectangles.
Okay. Oh, are you really gonna do this to me? I don't have enough. Oh, I just barely have enough. Oh yeah, we're gonna make this happen. Just barely. Oh, that's so close. Okay. We got it.
Okay.
Oh,
so you need a 7-inch square of fabric for your backing.
Okay. We're moving into new territory now because that's gone.
And then a 2.5 inch by about 30-inch strip for binding.
Okay. Okay. That out of the way. 5-inch square for the back, or 7-inch square for the backing, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it this way. 7 inches square. Use my mat to measure that.
Nancy wants to know, how was your pedicure with you and Mama?
It was delicious. Can you use that word to describe a pedicure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, delicious.
That's a good
It
word
was
for it.
delicious.
That's awesome.
It was good. We went in, it's the same thing that you do every time you go into a salon. You go in with the idea that, oh, I'm just going to get a pedicure. Nothing else for me today, thanks. And then you leave with a pedicure and a manicure, and in Mom's case, a haircut.
Oh, she got a haircut too?
She got a haircut too.
Wow. She got all fussied up.
She was like, Mama and Becca, day of beauty. I was like, what? What do you mean, David? What is going on? What the hell? What? Somebody's playing with the door handle.
Oh, so somebody asked if I'm going to have, or when my next box is going to be, or something like that. Sorry, it was a ways back. Yes, I will have, my next box is going to be the spring edition. Typically, I would be releasing it right about now for pre-order, but if you guys, unless you're, I'm sure that you all know that fabric is delayed. The fabric that's going in that box was supposed to be here this month, January, and now it's not coming till the end of February or the beginning of March. And so I don't want to pre-sale a box until I see that the fabric is shipping, because if I do that, you guys are going to be waiting a really long time. So yes, I will be having another project box, a spring box. It's going to be a bigger box. It's going to be a whole quilt top. I'm super excited about it. I love the fabric line, and I think you guys will like it too. But that will not go up for pre-sale probably till the end of February, till I see that the fabric is getting ready to ship. So that is the status of the next project box. And then I've already got a 4th of July box planned out, and I found some fabric today for my autumn box. So I'm super excited. Things are rolling for the future.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that you're waiting for your fabric to ship all that stuff first, because I know shipping right now is a nightmare.
It is. Like Fat Quarter Shop's box. I don't know if some of you guys might have seen my video. I put it up today. My box just came last night. That was the November box from Fat Quarter Shop. Now, that being said, it's out of their control. The fabric that's in that box, and I'm not going to say it for any of you who get the Sew Sampler and haven't seen it yet or haven't seen yours and want to be surprised, but that fabric was actually slated to be in shops in September, and it is now the end of January, and it just came in. So that's how delayed some of these fabrics are. So it's quite a fiasco. And if you do boxes like they do every month, that's even harder, at least with my boxes, because they're not a subscription. They're just a pre-order situation. I can move the date around based on the fabric shipping, but for them, they're on a deadline because it's once a month. So they're pretty far behind now, because now they still have to do December's box and January's box, and then all those are supposed to ship next month, but then February's box is going to come along too. So they're quite a bit behind, but it's things that just are out of everybody's control. Things are stuck on boats and ports. It's kind of crazy still. So.
Okay, I have got my binding strips and my square cut, plus all those little other pieces.
Awesome.
And all of this, all the cutting instructions, if I forget and need to recut something, they're in the description box, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And then get a piece of batting scrap that's about the size of your backing or a little bit bigger. And then you'll be all set.
I got some batting just sitting here on the floor, like waiting for me to use it for something. So here we go.
Okay. Somebody asked for the link for my pattern in my shop. Let me grab that for a second, and then I'm going to move my camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. You're not going to see my face anymore, but that's all right. Nobody needs to look at me that long. Okay, here's the link for my Valentine patterns in the chat now. And I'm going to, do you have a secondary camera ready so they can see you sew, or?
Yeah. I'm turning it on right now.
If you don't, that's fine too. I'm going to show myself sewing. So, all right. Yep. There's all my pieces. Hopefully you guys can see that. So these are the pieces I was telling Becca to cut. So this is the 2" by 3.5 inch. These are the 4 1¼ inch. These are the 2 2-inch squares. The 1.5 by 3.5 inch, the 1.5 by 5.5 inch. I'm going to use this as my backing fabric, which is a 7-inch square. And then just some scrap batting here that I had that was a little bit bigger than the backing. It can be about the same size or a little bit bigger would work. And we're going to turn all this into this. So let's get started.
You know what I did?
What?
I cut wrong.
Oh.
So I'm looking at your heart in the camera shot, and I realized all of the pieces that I cut for the front are all out of white fabric. And there's absolutely no contrast when you put white fabric against white fabric. So I'm just going to take a sec. Go ahead.
What about the blue? Do you have extra of the blue? You can make the heart in the center of the blue.
Oh, that's pretty. I have extra of both, but I'll just cut the extra out of the blue. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Because if you cut everything else already, you could just do the center pieces of your heart in blue. That would be really cute.
So then I could have 2. If I just recut all those same things in the same order, then I'll end up with the same stuff. Like I can have 2 just reverse, am I making sense?
Yeah,
I don't know if
totally.
I make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hi, Angie Sews. Thank you. Binding a quilt while watching you. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Jennifer Turney. Somebody asked about how they can get my spring box. It will be in my shop, hopefully end of February. Like I said, as soon as I see the fabric ship, I will put it in there. If you are on my newsletter, it will go out in a newsletter when it's ready, like I always do. I also post on Instagram and Facebook when it's ready for pre-order. So if you are on any of those things, or you are subscribed to my channel here on YouTube, which if you are not, go ahead and do that now. I will announce it at some point here on my YouTube channel as well. So I put it on all the things.
All the things, and it'll be everywhere and all the things, and I have no idea what I'm saying. 2 inches by 3.5 inches. Okay. And then
I need it.
4 1¼ inch squares.
Hello, Tamala. You only need, if you're going to make the heart blue, you only need the 2 inch by 3.5 inch strips.
Okay, well then I'm just going to leave it there so we can get sewing, because if I cut a whole bunch of other stuff, it's just going to take up time, and I'm sure we all want to dive into the project. So tell me what to do.
Okay, so take your center rectangles, which is going to be your blue ones now.
Okay.
For me, it's this white with the little flowers. And then we're going to take the 1¼ inch little squares. Okay. And we are going to sew from corner to corner the top on the top. Oh my gosh, my brain, I'm sorry, you guys, my brain's not working. Across the top here from corner to corner. And so we're going to snowball the top of the rectangle.
Okay.
So you can draw a line with a friction pen if you like, if that's your way. I have the Cluck So seam guide tape on my machine, so that's what I'm going to do. Turn my stitch length back down. So I'm just going to go across the top, and then I'm going to trim off the excess and then press this over this way and then put the other square on this side. And we're going to do this at the top left and right corners of both of your center triangles or rectangles. I know what shapes are today. Okay, so that's what the first one on. So that's what that should look like. And then I'm going to put the second square up here.
Kind of like you would be making a flying geese, except not really, because they're not going to overlap, right? Mine are not overlapping. That's correct, right?
They should be
1 1/4 and 1 1/4 is 2 1/2, and this piece of fabric is 3 inches, 3 1/2. Oh, hold on.
You're doing it on across the 2-inch side, not the 3.5 inch side.
Well, that would be great if I had a 2-inch side.
You're so funny.
I cut it at 2 1/2 inches, so I just need to cut a 1/2 inch off of this
There
so that I have. This is very similar to the petals that we made in the Springbrook blossoms.
Yes, very similar. Yep. So if you guys were watching that, or if you sewed that, very similar.
All right. I'm glad I asked before I just sewed. See, no stupid questions.
This
Only
is how
stupid
Becca
cutting.
cuts things so quickly. She cuts them all wrong.
That's right. Becca was not paying attention. Becca screwed up. Don't
That's
be
okay.
like that.
We love you anyway. So this is what it should look like. So this is one of my rectangles with both top corners. The squares sewn on both top corners. I'm going to do the other one now. Oh, Shirley said, thanks for the lives today. 2 flu shots yesterday, and you're taking my mind off feeling cruddy. Ugh, yuck.
Jennifer said, don't mention the geese. How do we get? There we go. My only complaint with the diagonal seam tape is when you're doing fabric like solids in flying geese units and you're trying to get that corner lined up, I can't always see where the corner of that fabric is if it's laying on top of the other one.
Well, so, I think it's just a Becca problem, not no, just kidding.
Becca has lots of problems today, and it's okay.
I noticed. No, that's okay. I'm totally kidding. No, I see. I know what you're saying. That can be difficult.
Yep.
Okay. So somebody asked what we're doing. This is what we're making today. We're making these cute little Valentine coasters. And if you want to join in, all the fabric requirements are in the description box below the video. Oh, Black Beauty is sitting over on my other table. She will make an appearance soon. I haven't had a lot of time to play with her because I've not been well. So I didn't want to bring her into a sew along, not really knowing how to use her. Although I don't think it's going to be too hard because she's pretty similar to my beast here that I use all the time. So
I just talk for a minute about how you literally have the main characters from Beauty and the Beast in your sewing room.
That's true. I kind of do, don't I?
You do.
Okay,
Are
so
you the
now that I
prince?
have these two sewn, the two squares on the top right and top left, we're going to grab the 2-inch squares now, and we're going to put them on the bottom of both of the rectangles. And you're going to sew, make sure you sew them opposite directions or you're not going to have a heart. But you're going to sew one from the top left to the bottom right and one from the top right to the bottom left. If you sew them the same direction, you're going to have a funky heart.
Funky heart, funky heart. That sounds like a good song.
I know, it sounds like an 80s song, right?
Yeah. Right up there with Funky Chicken. So I'm sitting here, right? And you're giving instructions. And I see my doorknob jiggling open. And I think I see a hand on the doorknob, but I can't quite see. So I'm pretty sure it's Jason playing a joke. So I open the door and I go out there. I'm like, Jason. He's like, what? He's all the way in the front room. And so I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I leave the laundry room to go find out where he's at, what he's doing. And as soon as I walk out of the laundry room, Zoe jumps out. She like jump scares me.
Oh.
Because I literally had it going through my head. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a ghost. It's got my doorknob. Ah! It was my daughter.
That's so funny.
It was not funny. Maybe funny now, but not funny in that moment.
Well, yeah, not at the moment, but funny now.
She's got it coming. Next one's on her.
I wanted to say a special hi to Teresa Louise. She's in the chat and she's moderating for me, and I really, really appreciate that.
Hey, Teresa.
I see her telling all kind of people where to find the project stuff. So thank you, Teresa. So you're going to trim after you sew that at an angle, you're going to trim the 1/4 inch away towards the outside, and then flip your piece over and iron it down. So you should have 2 pieces that look something like this. And if I put them together, you can see they make a heart. So cute.
That's really cute. That's super cute.
Okay, so now we're just going to sew this little heart together right down the center.
Okay.
And you may want to, if you're ahead of us or with us, you may want to iron this guy open in the middle once you get to that point, because it's going to get a little bit bulky.
All right.
So if I open this up, if I did it right, I should have a heart. Yep. A little heart. So I'm gonna use my pressing pen because that's gonna help me iron this guy.
And if we want to get one of those, where can we find it?
In my shop.
And what is the advantage to that pressing pen, Stephanie?
It makes your blocks come out nice and flat. I did, if you guys have not gotten my project boxes before, I try to give you everything for a complete project, at least the top and the binding, sometimes even the backing if it's a smaller project. And I also try to give you a useful notion. And the pressing pen was in one of my project boxes, and I've gotten the most compliment on that, or most comments, I should say, on that pen. Almost everybody that got one from me in that box tried it, sent me an email and said how much they love it. What a difference it makes in their flat blocks. So I was really happy to hear that. I try to give you guys useful things.
So Susie Gabbard is asking, do either of your daughters sew?
Yes.
My answer is no. I'll just leave it at that. And Stephanie can tell you more about hers.
Yeah, actually, my daughter is turning 13. I'm gonna have a teenager in just a couple weeks. and she loves to sew, and I'm super happy about that. I don't ask her if she wants to sew. I don't push her into it because I don't want her to be like, I'm not sewing because mom wants me to. So I just wait until she wants to come down here and sew. But she made everybody in our family a present for Christmas. That was something that was sewn. She made me a pillow. She made her dad a mug rug. She made her little brother, our youngest son, a charm pack quilt. She made her older two brothers each a pillow. So she's loves to sew. And if you go back and look at my YouTube channel, she's in a couple of my Vlogmas videos, and the one that we were making the mug rug, that's what she made for her dad for Christmas. So yeah,
That's awesome. Not only is she learning to give gifts that are meaningful, she's putting the extra time and touch in to make them herself. That's awesome.
yeah.
Nicely done.
So now we're going to take the 1.5 inch by 3.5 inch strips, and we're going to add it to the left and right of the heart. So you can see here if you're looking at my video. And then once you add those, you want to iron them out.
Okay.
So that's super simple.
This is a really cute block.
Got those sewn on. I'm going to iron them, but I'm going to show you guys. Once they're ironed, we're going to take the 1.5 by 5.5 strips and add it to the top and the bottom. But let's iron this guy first.
Pamela said, ugh, I just ran out of bobbin thread. Why?
At some point, I'm probably going to too, because I haven't checked it for a while, and I made the whole, I sewed some other things together, and I made the coaster, the original coaster, so I'm probably going to run out too. Maybe that's something we need to do at the beginning of every project, is do a bobbin check.
Bobbin check.
Bobbin check.
Not a bad idea.
Okay, so here's my heart with the left and right pressed. I'm going to add the 1.5 by 5.5 inch now to the top and to the bottom.
Okay. Hold on one second. I sewed with a very scant 1/4 inch, and my block is just a little bit wider than my strip. So I'm just going to take a second to kind of trim it down a little bit.
No problem.
Well, sometimes it doesn't take much for your block to be a little out of alignment.
Not much, yeah. Mona asked, can you use best press and then use the pen as well? Yes, I use best press in almost all my fabrics. Before I cut them, I spray them all, iron them, and then I also use the pen to get my blocks when I'm piecing even flatter. Hi, Denise Offenbacher. Hey, Lori Fair.
Lori
Shirley Hessinger said, doing double duty, watching you on my phone, and Ian on my tablet. Aw.
Was Ian live?
I didn't know that, but I guess he must be. Teresa McBrayer said, thumbs up for Stephanie. And so, Becca, thank you. Y'all are so sweet.
Listen, here's the rule of thumb. Being in 2 places at once is hard. Can't do that, but I can always go back and watch somebody's replay, right?
Yeah.
Might not be able to catch them when they're live, so I'll go back and watch it later.
Oh, yeah, I love Ian. We'll go back and watch his later.
Yeah. Trying to get the white balance to focus. There.
What's that?
I'm trying to get the white balance to not wash my
Oh.
block.
I'm loving the way that's looking with the blue in the middle. That's cute.
There we go. Get a better appreciation for the blue in the middle.
Oh, love it.
I actually kind of like the blue in the middle. That's
I think
fun.
it's adorable.
Yeah. Oh, he's doing glue basting live. That's awesome. I'll go over there and watch it later.
Yeah. Okay, well, you guys saw Becca's little heart. It's so cute. Here's mine. So you should have something that sort of looks like this at this point. Now we're going to grab the backing fabric, which should be bigger than your heart. And the, I can talk, the batting. Goodness gracious. Words are just escaping me lately. So I'm going to take, you can do whatever method you like the best, but I'm going to take my 505 basting spray and attach my backing to the batting. I don't need a whole lot because it's a small project.
Barbara Baker says, I like hearts with a more rounded tops. Could I sew the top strip wider and cut off the points? I don't see why not.
Yeah, you definitely could. Yep. I've made hearts like that before. I like them.
Oh no. Bitchin' and Stitchin' said, I was hoping Stephanie's live was later so I wouldn't have to watch. So yeah.
Oh, well, here's the thing, guys. I try to be off I'm on most Saturdays, not every Saturday because I have a family and sometimes things come up, but I'm on most Saturdays at 5 o'clock at this time, the same time. And sometimes I do a shorter stream. Sometimes I do a longer stream, but I do try to get off by the time So Yeah comes on, because when So Yeah comes on, you guys just love them and you leave my channel in droves, which is totally understandable. But that's why I try not to be on when they're on, because then I'll just be here talking to myself.
Hey, here's my tip. If you don't want to spend money on So Yeah and you want to watch them like on a 30-second delay.
Yep. You won't
miss everything.
Yep.
And you can still even play along. Like if you watch them 5 minutes late and then you're like, oh, 69, 52, you're not going to get anything. And you can be like, dang it. It just wasn't meant to be. And if it was meant to be, it'll be available 5 minutes later.
Right. That has saved me so many times because they've had some cute things that I really, really wanted, but I didn't need and didn't really have the money to buy. And I've been on delay. And by the time that it catches up and they're already on to something else and that item is sold out. So it's been a good thing. Okay, so I've got
I can get that better.
My heart all sandwiched, just like Becca does. I've got the front on the batting and then the backing. So now what I'm going to do is, and you guys can do this any way that you like, but if I can find it, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to take a friction pen. And I'm going to, you can free motion quilt this if you want, or you can do what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to draw a line like every inch diagonally. And I'm going to go this way first, and then I'm going to go the other way and just kind of make a cross hatch pattern.
Okay.
But like I said, you can quilt this any way you want to. I don't have my free motion foot on right now on my machine. It's not super easy to switch the feet on this machine. You have to unscrew the feet and screw it in and put in a different base plate. So if it wasn't that hard, I would probably free motion this with some like swirls or something cute. But this one that I did for the first, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's not showing up on camera, but I did a crosshatch and it came out pretty cute. So that's what I'm going to do again.
Any way you want it, that's the way you got it. Any way you want it.
Now, if you're going to do straight line quilting like this, is that what you're going to do, Becca, or are you going to free motion it?
Yep. Nope. I'm going to do straight line because I don't want to go dig up my foot and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And I've not done free motion. I've not done any free motion on the Juki yet, so I don't want to embarrass myself.
Oh, yeah. So when I do free motion or when I quilt something like this, I change my stitch length, just so you guys know, to about a 3.5.
Oh, okay.
Because then it really makes it look like quilting stitches instead of little tiny, you don't need to have little tiny stitches like you do when you piece. It makes it look a lot more decorative, so it'll be cute.
Yeah. I've always done like a 2.5 or a 3, but I wasn't sure what other people did. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I do a 3 or a 3.5. This one that I did as the sample, I did 3.5 on, and it's real cute. So.
And I like I'm thinking about just like the use of this coaster, right? The intended use, with it being something that's going to sit under a glass or a mug. Having this denser quilting on this will help it stay a little bit flatter.
Yes.
And it'll keep your cup from wobbling as much, which is probably why you had us press those seams open in the middle, right?
Yes, definitely. Yep. Because else you'd have your cup on there and it'd be like tilted. Okay, so if you can see that, you guys, see I've drawn all my lines. I'm going to sew right on those lines. Just back and forth. I usually start in the middle. It's just the way I like to do it. It feels like it's holding it together better. It's probably not, but
I think it does. I think it keeps it from shifting.
Yeah, in my brain, I think it works better and it keeps the whole thing from shifting. Of course, the 505 spray does that too. It helps it from shifting. So, all right. All right.
Here I go. Three and a half, you said?
What's that?
3.5 stitch length?
Yeah, that's about what I do.
Okay.
It kind of makes it look more like hand stitching. It's kind of cute.
Well, that's what I'm doing this time.
Okay, that is all done. I am going to iron it to make the friction pen disappear.
I am still quilting.
No worries. Oh, I like the way this one came out because the thread shows up a little bit more on this bright pink than it did on the pale pink as far as the quilting. So as you guys can see, there's my quilting. See, I just did a crosshatch. Very simple. And then when you're all done, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to trim off all this excess batting, and you have extra batting. So you're going to, or backing. So you're going to cut off all this excess. Yeah, Zach and Tiancum did a great job on the Notion night, you guys. That was fun.
Okay. When I fussy cut, Dorlin wants to know, do I add 1/4 for the seams? I would say yes.
I would say yes as well.
So I don't use friction pens to mark my fabric. I rely on water soluble markers, and that's what I use to mark this up. And so I've got lots of blue lines all over it. And I've had a few people ask, how do the lines disappear? Well, the friction pens are a little bit easier, but with the water soluble pens, moisture takes the markings away. And so a good steam press or a good Mary Ellen's, you spritz it, it disappears. And if you rub the moisture into a couple of the stubborn spots, it'll disappear. I don't really have a problem with them normally bleeding on me, but I can see like this blue peeking through. This is for my seam allowance, guys, so I'm okay with that. I know it'll disappear when it gets a little bit, when it gets dry. I have noticed for me, gosh, that looks so good quilted now that the lines are gone. I have noticed for me that if I press this too soon, some of those lines can come back, but a little bit of moisture will make them go away again. So sometimes I'll just mist it like this, and I'll leave this sit kind of like overnight and let it dry by itself if I've got some markings. It's definitely more fussy than your friction pens, but yeah. I know some people have bought them based off my recommendation, so I just wanted to show you what I had.
Awesome. And yeah, what we tell you, like friction pen is what I'm used to, and that's what I'm comfortable with. But if you're comfortable with a chalk marker or Becca's water soluble pen or something else, definitely use what you're comfortable with. You don't have to use what we tell you to use.
Yep. There's no rules in baseball or quilting. Well, I guess there's rules in baseball, but there aren't in quilting.
There's no crying in baseball, though.
Well, maybe there is when I.
Okay, so as you can see, I ironed this to make the lines disappear, and then I trimmed it all up. So I'm ready to bind it. It's very cute. Show you guys the quilting a little bit more now. So I prepared my binding strip ahead of time. You should have about each side, it's about 5.5 inches each side, or approximately. So that would be 20. And then I would add a few inches so you can join your ends together. So I cut about a 2.5 by 30 inch strip. You could probably get away with 25. I wouldn't go less than that because you're going to have a real hard time joining your ends together. But other than that, we're getting pretty close to being done. Very exciting. So I'm going to bind mine from the back to the front. I'm going to attach the binding on the back, flip it over, and attach it to the front. But you do binding how you like to do it. I don't hand sew anything, so this is how I do binding. Oh, and if you raised your stitch length to do the quilting, make sure you lower it back down a little bit to do your binding. I just made that mistake, so.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Luckily, it's not a big, bad mistake.
Oh, binding little projects like this always intimidates me.
What's that?
Binding a little project like this intimidates me sometimes.
Why?
Because I know when I get to the end, I'm going to have a hard time getting the binding strip end to join up with the beginning. It's not that it intimidates me. Maybe that's the wrong word. It's just, I know it's going to be a little fussy.
Yeah.
But binding
That's
a
why I
project.
said 30 inches, so you have long enough tails where you can, because it is hard with small projects to get those together.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the fun part, putting the binding together.
So let me ask you a question, Stephanie.
Sure.
You do like these really fun, cute little projects that you can whip out in an hour. Not everything's always a big quilt or even a wall hanging. Where do you come up with your ideas? How did you decide that this is what you wanted to make for this live?
Well, I actually, well, I think you're in the swap too, but we are both in the Lisa Marie swap group. And for this current swap, we had to make a mug rug. And I was trying to think of something that would be really cute that I could make my partner to go with her mug rug. So I was like, oh, maybe I can make coasters. And then that kind of turned into, the colors she chose were kind of Valentine colors. So I was like, oh, maybe I can make some Valentine coasters. That would be cute. And then I just sort of sewed one up and I liked the way it came out. And I was like, I'm going to share that with everybody because maybe everybody else would like to make one too. So that's how that came about. Now, my coin purse that I sewed a few weeks ago. Wow, it's been a while now, probably more than a few weeks ago, but I guess the beginning of January that I did with everybody. I've made those for years. I actually used to make them for our church when we had craft sales to raise money for a local women's shelter. And I hadn't made anything with a zipper for a really long time. And I made a zipper pouch like 2 weeks before that. And I thought, I forgot how fun it is to make stuff with zippers. So I decided to pull that little project out for everybody at home because it was just a fun, cute, easy project. And I felt like after doing all the projects that we all had to do for Christmas presents and stuff like that, we needed something really easy and fun.
Susie has a question for you.
Sure.
Binding the challenge for me as a new quilter. Do you always have to stitch a 1/4 inch away from the raw edges, even if you're using wider than 2.5 inch strips? She has a part 2, so answer that first.
Okay. I don't use anything. I've never used anything wider than a 2.5. Actually, most of the time I use I'm using a 2.5-inch strip right now, but to be honest with you, most of the time on my quilts, I use a 2.25 inch because I like a thinner binding.
Same.
So I've never done more than a 2.5-inch strip, so I don't honestly know how to answer that. Maybe somebody in the chat knows, or maybe Becca knows.
I would say just, and this is just me, but I'd love to hear what other people have to say. I would say if you're going to use a strip wider than 2.5 inches, I think I might have just messed this up. We'll see. No, I didn't. Good. If you're going to use a strip wider than 2.5 inches,
Mhm.
what you're going to end up with if you sew with a 1/4 inch is extra flap
Yeah.
with no, over here with no quilt in the binding. So you need to adjust how far away from the edge you're sewing. And that's just going to give you a wider binding. So if you use a 3-inch strip, let's say, instead of a 2.5 inch, maybe sew like a 1/2 inch away from the edge.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what she wants the look to look like, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If she wants a lot of extra on the one side, but wants the other side to look like normal binding, then I guess you could do the 1/4 inch. But if you want it to look more even, you'd want to do a larger seam allowance.
Yeah. Now, for me, because I didn't want to fuss with trying to put this on the diagonal, I just butted my seams right up next to each other, my binding right up next to each other. I folded them where they're going to meet, and I took a seam right on that crease. And
Yep.
now I'm going to flip it over and just stitch it from the front. It's
That's
not
exactly
as
what I did.
nice. Good. It's not as nice as what you would get if you do traditional binding, but it certainly works.
It works. And with this small of a project, you're not going to be able to tell that much, number one. And number two, it would be real hard to get it on the diagonal. You can.
Yeah.
But it's hard enough even just to get it on the straight. And that's what I did too, is I did the straight. So what I do is I always iron mine from the back before I flip it.
Uh-huh.
It just helps that binding kind of go where you want it more, I think. And then pull it all towards the front.
Susie's also asking, and how do you get those really nice pointy corners?
You have to do mitered corners. If you don't know how to do mitered corners, there's all kind of videos on YouTube. I've done a binding video. Have you done a binding video, Becca?
I've done binding in a live, but not binding by itself.
Okay.
I know you have a dedicated binding video.
Yeah, I have a binding video. I know Missouri Star has a really good one that shows it really up close, because when I made mine, I didn't really have the technology to do super close, but I tried the best I could. But look for like mitered binding tutorial, because that's how you get the nice corners.
I think for me, the trick is, and this is something you and Yvette taught me, but the trick is making sure that you're tacking it down on the back side and handling the corners on the back side the right way. And then when you flip it over to the front, all of the work is already done for you.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. If you get those mitered corners looking good from the back side, or you've stitched them well on the first side that you've stitched down, whether you go front to back or back to front, when you do it on the front, they kind of go where you want them to. So
You know what?
oh, you're just going over to town over there getting that sewn. Here, I'm messing with all these wonder clips.
Well, my binding probably isn't going to look as great as yours is.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's such a small project.
Functional. Yeah. It'll be functional, but it won't be perfect. I do love the quilting on this, though. This is great.
The crosshatch, yeah, it looks good on this project, I think.
I think so, too.
And now when I'm sewing my binding on, I'm not sure what Becca's doing. I am just barely catching the edge of my binding. So it's not even an 1/8 of an inch. It's just barely catching the edge.
Yeah, that's not what I did. Well, I guess, yes, it is. It's next to the edge, less than 1/8 of an inch. But I guess I always feel like I saw Donna Jordan do a tutorial on how she does her binding.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I am way subpar because I compare myself a little bit to how she does it, and I can't get it done the way she does it. She stitches it to the back and then flips to the front, just like Stephanie had us do. But when she tacks it down from the front, excuse me, she actually, see if I can get it to focus, she actually stitches in the ditch right on that very, very edge, right on that fold all the way around. And it just, every time I do that, and it stresses me out because I always end up veering off of the edge into the quilt, and it frustrates me. So
Wait, she stitches in the ditch from the front side or the back side?
Yes, from the front side.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe like I need a special tool to do that. I don't know, but
okay, all done. Just need to snip my, where did I put my snips? There they are. Just need to snip my threads. Yours looks really, really pretty. I love the blue.
I do love the blue. And I will probably make a few more of these to go with my partner's mug rug, because I do think that's a great idea. And technically, this is a coaster, but this could be a mug rug. Like, that's all a mug rug is.
Could be. So there's
you have a tip. You have a $5 tip from Miss Susie Gabbard.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much.
She said, thank you, ladies. Plenty of notes in my quilting pad. I'm excited to try binding.
Awesome.
And Teresa's saying that Tiffany has a really good binding video as well that you can check out.
I'm sure she does. Yeah, she's amazing at this kind of stuff. So, hi, Connie Miller. How you doing? Donna Jordan's method is what I've been practicing, said Lisa. Awesome. Hi, Pam. She said those are cute. Look so
Teresa
pretty. I'm still sewing the sides. That's all right. So here's my first one done that I did as the sample. And then here's my second one. And you could really, I really like my second one because of the dark background. I can really see that crosshatch quilting. So that looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. So what do you think? Good project? Oh, she muted us.
Sorry, I had people talking to me and I didn't want to talk over top of you while I was answering.
That's okay.
I think this is an amazing project, and I'm going to whip out more of these. And I'm pretty sure Mom's going to require that I make some for her because she loves all things hearts. So
I know she does. She already said that she wanted one. So
Yep. But that's the beauty of her wanting one. She gets to have prototypes.
There you go. Okay, I'm going to move myself back up. Okay. Hi. You can see my face.
We can see the face.
All right. So we have some Valentine coasters. Yay.
I have one. I need to make more.
I'll trade you. You want to trade? Because I like the blue.
Here you go.
Here you go. I really love that blue one. That's really, really cute. So speaking of loving her blue one. If you guys are making these at home, I would really love to see yours. So if you post them on social media, tag me at Stephanie Stitches, or put them in like Becca's Facebook group, or just throw them up on your Facebook, but say at Stephanie Stitches so I can see it. I would love to see your coasters, because I think as different as Becca and mine look, depending on what fabric you use, these could all look completely different, and they're going to be super cute. So yes, post it on Facebook, Instagram, wherever.
Susie said, I'm cute with my hair up. I actually got that, like, this was messy mom bun. Stephanie was like, I like you growing your hair longer because you can do the mom bun. I was like, okay, that's what I'll wear
really
for today.
Cute. I told you it was cute. I was right. See, I just told her that she looked cute with her hair up like that. So if you guys haven't been watching her for that long, if you don't know, she used to have her hair real long, and she used to put it up like that all the time. And then she cut her hair real short, and she hasn't been able to do that for a while. So it was fun to see her be able to put that up today. So
they cut it short, and then I went to get it trimmed, and they cut it real short.
Real short, like mama short.
Oh yeah, like a buzz cut short almost, it felt like.
Yeah. You're welcome, Linda. So before we go, does anybody have any questions? Because I know Becca's got to run. She's got some house guests tonight, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
No, I'm watching the time. You're fine.
I can't sell more coasters.
I know. You'll have to come back and show when they've all left for the night.
Yeah, that's the good part.
I want to make one for every one of my boys' desks, so that would be 4 I need to make. Awesome. Purple would be cute. Yes, that would be cute, Teresa. That's one of my favorite colors. Blues and purples are my favorite colors. So I love Becca's, and if somebody wants to make me a purple one, I'll take it. Oh, speaking of making me something, I wanted to show you guys this really quick. I don't think she's here tonight. I haven't seen her unless she's lurking. But I wanted to thank Donna Struntz. She sent me the sweetest little gifts. She knew I wasn't feeling well, so she made me a couple little things. She made me this cute little mug rug, and it's got like a little napkin right here. Isn't that cute? And then she made me this cup that says, Stephanie Stitches, I'm so crafty, I sweat glitter. So it's really cute. It's got all the sewing things on there. So I just wanted to give her a shout out and say thank you so much, because these are really, really cute and super thoughtful. And I was having quite a bad week with this sickness, so it really lifted my spirits, and just wanted to say thank you. So thank you, Donna.
Your colors too.
Very cute. Oh, I know. She nailed my colors. So the blues and the turquoises, and yeah, perfect.
I think she was here at least at some point, because I was able to tag her in the chat. So she was at least here long enough to tag up and say hi. So cool.
Okay, so Anne Marie asked me, is there enough fabric in the Fort Worth fabric kit to starch? I just got my kit. Yes, there was a lot extra, actually. I was surprised how much extra there was, and I was glad that I best pressed all of mine. I don't traditionally starch, I best press, but I was glad that at the end I was able to tell people yes, because there was a lot of people asking me about the Anne Marie. So yeah, there's definitely enough to starch.
When is their next sew along, Steph?
So their next sew along is actually starting this one, thank you for asking that question, actually. The last part of the Valentine one, which are the blocks behind me, is this Monday. We're going to do one more block, and then we're going to put the whole top together. And then their next sew along is going to start sometime mid-ish to late February. And it's going to be a St. Patrick's Day sew along. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that.
I think I want to do one. I started one a few years ago. Yvette she did them all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I signed up for one that she was going to do for Christmas. I was like, I'm going to do this. And I got the fabric, and the amount of cutting overwhelmed me. And I never got past week 1. I didn't even finish the cutting. And it's because I made a mistake on like one piece. I could have fixed that and recovered from it. But I put it in a bin and I walked away from it, and I just never finished it. And then I paid the UFO forward to somebody else who could use the fabric for something else.
Okay.
But I've been thinking about maybe trying to begin, especially when I saw the one that you guys did for Christmas, what you're doing now for the Valentine's one. It looks like it's going to be a smaller quilt, a little bit more manageable.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
The Christmas one was quite a big quilt. This Valentine one is small. I think it's is it 32 by 32 or 36 by 30? I think it's 32 by 32. So it's definitely a lot smaller. It's meant to be like a table topper, or you can use it as a wall hanging. Or if you want to put some borders, you could make it into like a baby quilt, I guess. But I don't know the size yet. I haven't seen it for the next one, but I really like these. It actually, sewing along with everybody motivates me to finish it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel with like the puzzle mystery quilts, although I'm behind on Olympia and I got to get caught up. But knowing that people are sewing it with me, the Springbrook Blossoms, great example. Knowing that people are sewing with us, whether it's on your channel, wherever, you're part of a community that's working towards trying to get that done, and you're kind of at the head of the pack. So I feel a responsibility to try to finish those projects.
Yeah, definitely. Let me grab that quilt. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. See what we got in the chat. If there are any questions that I can answer while she's
the chat.
picking out. Oh, this is the one. This is so pretty. This is the Christmas one.
This is the Christmas one. So the blocks behind me, hang on, let me get back to where I can see. Okay, so these blocks behind me are the Valentine one. So this is Love from Fort Worth Fabric Studio. This one, which the patterns are still on their website, was their Christmas one. And I kind of just sewed this on my own on my channel. And after they saw me sew it, they asked me to sew this for them. So that was kind of nice. But this is the Christmas one, because you guys can see how big it is compared to the Valentine one. It completely covers me. So this is a nice quilt.
I did not even know, because I was in transitions for so much. I didn't even know about that fabric line. And I remember, what was that called? The fabric line for that kit?
Fabric line is Hustle and Bustle by Basic Gray. And so that's why there's a lot of grunge in that quilt. Like the background for that quilt is a pear green grunge, because Basic Gray are the makers of grunge.
Yeah,
but
when I saw...
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, when I saw your first couple, and I saw in your Vlogmas that fabric, I fell in love, and I was jonesing so bad over that. I wanted to get a fat quarter bundle, and then the Ginger Quilter gave us some of that, and I'm in love with that fabric. So that quilt, just gorgeous.
And here's the funny thing is that as a Moda fabric seller, we get catalogs, and we look at the catalog and we kind of decide from the catalog, we have to pick and choose what we're going to buy for our shop, because unless you're huge like Missouri Star or Fat Quarter Shop, you can't buy everything. You just can't. It's financially not feasible. So I saw that fabric line in the catalog and I was like, oh, I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. Like, I didn't think it was going to sell well. I didn't think it was that cute. This was an example of the fabric is so much better in person, 100% better. When I got this fabric, I was like, I was totally in love with it. I couldn't believe how much I love that fabric. So I am really, really glad that I signed up for, to get the kit and did that quilt, because I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm so glad I have a finished quilt. So yeah.
Yep. I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm glad you're doing some of their sew alongs, and maybe next time I'll sign up for the next one that they're doing. So
that'd be great.
Make sure I don't know why I'm not saying make sure, I'm asking just for confirmation. When the next sign up comes along, is that going to be something that's in your newsletter and stuff?
It'll be in, I'll probably make a YouTube video I did last time. announcing it and when the kit is available, because they'll give me all the information to be able to tell you guys when the kit is available. This kit this time around, it was really, really reasonable in price, which I was happy to see that they made something sort of beginner, because they know that there's a lot of new beginner quilters out there, and that it was very affordable. I think the kit was like $32 or $34. I mean, really good price.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that changes based on how big a project is and things like that. I have no idea how much the next one is, but I feel like even though I sell fabric, that when places like this have a sew along, I do try to buy the kit, because I know from a pattern writing standpoint how long it takes and how much energy and effort it takes to write a pattern. So I feel like me buying the kit from them is supporting them and saying, thank you for writing the pattern, giving me the pattern for free. So I know financially not everybody can do it, but if you can, I try to buy the kit. So
Especially if it's 35, $40.
yeah, I think it was like 34 something for this one. So
Very nice.
real affordable, but not always. Like the Christmas one was, but you guys see it's a whole big quilt. It's not just a small, wall hanging like this behind me. But even that wasn't crazy. It wasn't over $100 even with shipping. So yeah.
Yep.
Kathleen said, I'm so glad I was able to get a fat quarter bundle of Hustle and Bustle. Yes, it's beautiful.
I want the fat quarter bundle of Hustle and Bustle.
Yep.
So.
Oh no, Tamala said, I'm working on getting caught up on the Valentine so long. I've been so sick, had the flu and the other unmentionable at the same time. Oh, you had a double whammy.
We've been calling it the virus that shall not be named.
Yes. All right, so it looks like we don't have any other questions. So I'm gonna let everybody go, and don't forget that Soya is on tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what all that is in all the other time zones, but I'm sure if you live in one of the other time zones, you can figure it out. If you guys have any questions, if you didn't sew along with us and you're making this later and you need any clarification, leave a comment under the video. I do come back and read the comments, and usually if somebody needs help, I will post something, or you can always email me, stephanies.stitches@yahoo.com. And I want to thank Becca so much for coming on sewing with me. It was a lot of fun.
This was my first live. We've done Saturdays with Steph before.
Yes.
And those were on my channel, but this is my first time doing it with you on your channel. It's a lot of fun. It's nice to be able to bring my fabric and sew with you here. So
awesome.
I'm gonna go load Ian's channel for a little bit while I'm waiting for my friends to show up and order some pizza. So I guess I'll see you on So Yeah tonight, Steph.
That sounds good. Pizza and Ian. So see you guys later at So Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.